you again for another domain training session. Today is going to be about the retail domain. We already spoke about the manufacturing and automobile domain in the last session. So what is retail domain? It encompasses a broad range of activities related to the sales of goods and services to the end customers. So you know that there are two types of in retail. It encompasses both physical and well as digital spaces. Physical are like this normal physical stores, uh, like this normal kirana stores, as well as this big box stores like Reliance stores, Big Bazaar. These kind of are comes under physical. And under digital only, it's like your e-commerce websites, like your example is Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra. These kind of digital only stores come under digital domain, and it includes the overall process of bringing products from the manufacturer or supplier to the hands of the customers. This is the retail domain. Okay, why it's very important, right? So economic contribution to the country, like every product that is sold on the market has a GST included, which goes to the government. So as much as goods are sold to the end customers, the government and the country also benefits from the sales of goods and services. Um, Consumer access and convenience, right? So there are multiple products that are being produced by different parts of the country. And then how do you bring it to the whole country consumers, right? So that is the main being controlled by the supply chain process, where a product being produced maybe in the southern states where it is um, widely available. How do you bring it to the very far places of the country, right? So all that is managed through the supply chain and logistics. So convenience, right? So you might be living in a nearby place, and how do you get all your food or normal day-to-day appliances? So you have this different retail stores nearby where you can go and purchase the product. So that is more convenient for the consumer. Market competition and innovation. So if you see one particular product, similar products can be found um, by a different manufacturer, right? So the more the number of competitors that are supplying the same product, they you will have a little bit of cost convenience. More the players, if one product is available at X price, another competitor, if they want to increase their sales, either they have to have a better product or else they need to have a cheaper price than the same product, right? So that's how drives the innovation of this retail domain. So it's very crucial to have a market competition and innovation. So let's learn about the common terminologies that are used in the retail space. So if you have any confusions here, please stop me. These are very, very important terms that you need to know if you're working in a retail company, right? Okay. The first one is point of sale, the location where the transaction occurs, often referring to the physical or virtual checkout where the customers make the purchases. So point of sale here could be if you buy a certain product in a place like Reliance store. Okay, so the point of sale is the Reliance physical store. Okay, or if you have bought it in Amazon or Flipkart, it's a virtual checkout. So it's straightforward, right? Called as POS. Next is the inventory management. So you need to oversee and control the quantities of the products available for sale, including stock levels, replenishment, or order fulfillment. This is very important because you need to meet the demand of the customers, right? If a product is like, for example, you have Milk, right? Milk is a very commonly sold product, and you need to have inventory. If there are some 1,000 customers that are coming on a day-to-day basis, you need to plan for the 1,000 customers, right? That is being the inventory is management is very crucial for maintaining the stock levels. Once it's being emptied, like 10% is there, how do you replenish the stock levels? All this comes under inventory management. Omni-channel retailing. So this is a strategy that provides seamless customer experience. It could be in-store, online, mobile, and social media. Omni-channel is a very important term mainly used in these retail companies. It is nothing but you need to have a physical as well as a digital store, and it should be available across multiple social media platforms like digital platforms, right? For example, H&M. H&M is also a company which sells clothes. You have this offline stores as well. Probably you would have seen in malls, and also they have a online website also, right? So those, if it has multiple channels where they can sell the product, then it is called as a omni-channel retailing. Okay. So it's also available in social media. You would have seen ads on Instagram, Facebook, on all these things where even you can find H&M stores, right? So all this comes under omni-channel retailing. Okay. Next is a CRM. So what is CRM? So customer relationship management. So in every company, they will have a CRM tool and which tracks. So you would have seen if you log into Amazon, right? For your email ID, they track every single thing, your location, how many products you have ordered in the past, and what all products you have seen in the website. Every single thing is tracked, and based on all this data, they recommend more products that you would be interested to buy, right? So if you have bought probably a phone on Amazon website, so they would track this data, past data, and then try to recommend more such products like your phone case and maybe a charger, right? These kind of additional suggested links will be done based on your CRM system, customer relation management tool. Okay. So it says like managing interactions and relationships with the customer, often involving data to improve customer satisfaction as well as loyalty. Right? It also includes you raising the support ticket if any refunds are not yet processed or you have a problem with a product, and all these things come under customer relationship management. And loyalty tools, you would have known. Not every single store uses it, but if you buy something in a retail in a Reliance store, you are rewarded with a loyalty points, and you can redeem those loyalty points to buy more products on the same website, right? So next is the RFID. This is also an important term, radio frequency identification. So every single product in the store will have a RFID tag. You would have seen a barcode, right? If you see any product, if you see near the pricing tag, there will be a white box with multiple vertical lines, right? So there'll be a RFID sensor where if you just scan that barcode, all the product details is automatically there. Like a big box store, if you take multiple products in your cart, the salesperson will just use a laser RFID sensor, and they'll just keep scan that barcode, and everything will be added in your invoice, right? So that is called as an RFID tag. E-commerce. E-commerce specifically means digital links, right? Like Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, all this come under e-commerce, buying and selling of goods online. Next is the supply chain management. As I told before, it's a very crucial term used in retail, supply chain management. How do you meet the demand and supply of the customers, right? For all the products. Maybe goods are available in one part of the country. How do you bring it to the end customer living in a very far away place? So all this planning is being done in the supply chain management. The entire process of production and distribution of goods, and it involves suppliers, manufacturers, distributors, retailers, and then the end customers. All this come under supply chain management. What is a SKU? This is also important. Stock keeping unit. So you will find multiple godowns, right, where they store all the products in a single place. Um, Mainly for e-commerce stores, you will be tagged with a SKU where maybe uh, so Amazon is available all across the country, right? But if you want to buy products mainly in Bangalore or Chennai or Pune, there'll be different SKUs in every city, right? All the products will be available there, and from SKUs, it will be delivered to the end customer. Okay, it's a stock keeping unit. Next is the data warehousing. The data warehousing is a technical term. It's like collecting, storing, and managing data from different sources to support business intelligence and reporting. So we'll see that in the later slides. So what is predictive analytics? This is extremely important to find out what is the demand and forecast how much of a inventory I need to keep for every single product that I'm going to sell. Right? All this predictive analytics. What kind of products are mostly sold? Why they are being sold? So how do you, if there is a sale, right, like Diwali sale or any important sale that is going to come up, so how do you predict how many customers are going to buy and how much inventory I need to keep? All this comes under predictive analytics. Customer segmentation. This is also ML concept where they divide customers into groups based on certain characteristics or behaviors, often used to target marketing strategies. So, like I explained before, how do you track customer behavior? What kind of products they are buying? If they are buying mostly the computer accessories related products, so I would have success recommending them more of such products, right? If you suggest more of a latest laptop or a latest tablet, he would be more likely to buy such products. So you will this all analytics come under customer segmentation. Okay. So next is the merchandising. So merchandising is the planning and promoting the sale of products by determining the right assortment, pricing, and presentation. Assortment is like if you have maybe a chocolate, right? The different flavors of the same chocolate. Those are called assortment. The same product in multiple flavors or multiple colors. Those are called as a assortment. So, and merchandising also involves pricing. How do I competitively price my product? And presentation, right? How do you pack that product? According to each individual product, you'll be packing that product if to maintain. If it's a digital product, you will pack it safely so that they're not damaged. And if it's a food product, how do you make sure it is not spoiled, right? And the package should be very appealing to the consumer. So those come under presentation. Next is the cross-selling. So the practice of promoting additional products to the customer based on the current purchase, right? So if you buy a phone, the phone case is like an additional product, encouraging to buy complementary items. This is known as a cross-selling. Loyalty program. So this is again a marketing strategy to reward a customer to for repeat business. How do you make them addicted to your particular store? If you are buying in Amazon, you give them loyalty points so that next time you don't go to another store, right? Like Flipkart, you can buy it in the Amazon itself using the loyalty points, which will be like an additional discount. This is how you build a loyalty program. So markdown. What is markdown? So this is a reduction in the original selling price of a product to promote sales or clear out excess inventory. So markdown usually is used during sales, right? Probably like a Diwali sale or a Dasara sale. They will they will reduce the price of a product to clear off inventory, right? If they have more inventory and the sales are a little bit dull, they do something like a markdown, which is nothing but a lesser price of the product to clear off the inventory. And this is usually done if you see like Apple phones, right? If iPhone 14 Pro, for example, would have been available during launch for about 1.5 lakhs, right? Then you store a lot of inventory. But due to some reasons, it would not have been sold to the customers. But as soon as the next version is launched, iPhone 15 is launched, right? They would give a huge discount on 14. Maybe now it's available for 1 lakh, right? So that 50% that is reduced, that is known as a markdown. Okay. Next is the back order. When a customer orders a product that is temporarily out of stock and retailer promises to deliver it when available, this is known as a back order. So you might have seen a lot of products that are not available, and you click on something like notify when this product is available. When you click on that, we record something known as a back order, and based on the back order, you will plan your inventory. Okay. So virtual merchandising, the arrangement and presentation of products in a visually appealing manner to attract customer and drive sales. So this also comes under the same merchandising, but how you pack your products to make it more appealing, right? If you have a vanilla chocolate, you make it visually more white, right? So that the customer clearly sees it and recognizes it's a vanilla based flavor. Or if you have chocolate, you mostly put it in dark brown, right? Those are called comes under visual merchandising. So flash sale, yeah, this is a short-term promotion where products are offered at a discounted price for limited time to create a sense of urgency. So this you will see like for prime customers, right? At 12 o'clock, immediately they give a flash sale and it's available for a huge discount. And they will have a timer on that product also that buy this within the next hour to get this discount, right? And then if you miss it, and then it goes back to the same price. So this is known as a flash. So very important terms that you need to keep in mind is the SKU, as we already discussed, the point of sale, the system and location where retail transaction is completed, CRM, strategies for managing and analyzing customer data and the interactions, LTV, lifetime value, the total revenue a business expects from a single customer account over the entire relationship. So from one customer, how much does the business make? So this is tagged as a lifetime value. If a customer has given more revenue, then uh, how how do we make how do we give more discounts to the customer? So they are rewarded based on the lifetime value. So churn rate, a percentage of customers who stop using a product during a specific time. That is the churn rate. So how much sale you make during with that particular product during that specific time, maybe in the flash sale or during the markdown sales, right? How much you could get the revenue out of that particular customer. That is the churn rate. So moving on, let's discuss some important terms. So customers, especially in this domain, these are nothing but straightforward. The individuals that purchase goods or services. Sometimes it could be companies or organizations also, right? If you say business to business, each individual organization which buys the service of another company is also comes under customers. Okay. So let's see the different segmentation. Demographics. So under demographics, you have age, gender, income, and education. So these are some of the examples, okay, to understand what all comes under the customer segmentation. Behavior. So you analyze the purchasing habits, the brand loyalty, which products you are more likely to purchase, product usage. All these are being tracked from the customer behavior. Psychographics, what are the lifestyle? Maybe if he is rich, he'll buy some more valuable products, or what are their values, what are their interests. All this come under psychographics. Customer journey. Under this, discovering the product or a service comes under product awareness. That's why you have multiple ads in all the channels, maybe Instagram or you have YouTube. Everywhere, how do you build the brand awareness? That is the customer journey. Then consideration. How many options are there, right? How does the customer evaluate their options? So if you see the sort option and filter option, right? What are the more, what are the filters the customer is more likely to use? What is the budget that is set, right? All this comes under consideration. What are the purchases he is making? So retention, ongoing engagement and repeat purchases, right? What are the repeat purchases that comes under retention? Advocacy, recommended to others. So if you see probably Amazon link, you can share it to other people, right? Even that is being tracked. So that comes under advocacy. So what are the importance of the customer? He is the one who drives, he or she is the one who drives the revenue as well as the business growth. Then influences product development and marketing strategies, right? So he's the one who influences product development. Maybe he returns back the product saying that he does not like the packaging or anything. And then the company will make some business decision. How do I improve the product? So, and then he looks at the customer data, right? So that is how it drives the product development as well as the marketing strategy. So for a case study, how a company segmented its customers base to increase sales by 20%, right? So more the you have the customer segmentation data. So as I told, if a customer is more likely to buy computer accessories like a laptop or maybe a tablet or mostly phone or these kind of electronics related to data, you will segment them into a digital only customer, right? And you don't recommend them clothes or maybe food products because it's not likely to buy that product. So if you segment them into a digital and give them more discounts on a digital products, is more likely to buy it, right? So all these are influenced using customer segmentation. So next, let's go into products. So these are the goods or services for to the customer. So let's see the product life cycle. First is the introduction, launching the product to the market. And then how do you increase the sales and market acceptance? Whether it fits in a market. Market fit is also an important consideration. You need to have a product which is unique and fits for a certain segment of customers, or else you will definitely not see the sales. That comes under market acceptance. Maturity. So once you have a market fit and your sales are giving constant, how do you increase the sales? How do you get the peak sales and the market saturation? How do you overcome the market saturation? That comes under product maturity. Decline. So why is there is a decrease in the sales, and whether the product has met its saturation? No, customers will not be using that product anymore. like a old product, like a iPhone 7 or 8 or 5, like it's a old version, people are not likely to buy it, right? So how do you phase it out naturally, right? That is known as a product decline. So next is the product mix. So what are the variety, different product lines? Variety like assortments. How many colors are you offering? How many versions? Uh, so there are different customers preferring different options, right? So you might be wanting 128 GB of storage. Some customers need 256 GB of storage, or some customers need more. So are you catering to those variety? Depth variations within each product line. That comes under product depth. Next is the consistency. How closely related the product lines are. You need to maintain strict consistency within each options of the same product. So that comes under product mix. Next is the innovation. So the importance of continuous improvement. What are the more features you're adding it to the same product, right? Those comes under innovation. Examples of product innovation include market leadership, right? Market leadership, you see which is the market leader in certain category. Maybe in phones, maybe iPhone or Samsung or OnePlus. This kind of which are the market leader. And if you see in iPhone, they have more sales, more money. The company which is having more sales will invest more in the R&D to drive more innovation, right? So that is also drives the market leadership. The product with more innovation will be the market leader, right? Yeah. So next comes under product portfolio management. This is very important. So how do you balance high risk and low risk products? Um, so a new product is again a high risk product, right? If iPhone 15 is there, it's a high risk product because it's new. You don't know whether people are going to buy it or not. And then you have your low risk products, maybe a lesser version which is uh, driving more sales, is accepted by the market, right? That's how you balance high risk and low risk so that they sustain in the market. What are the strategies for product diversification? This is also very important in the portfolio management. How do you diversify your products? You have your product diversification is like, if you say example of Apple itself, you have iPhones, which could be a high risk because new phones might not be accepted. But you have AirPods. AirPods are sold a lot. Maybe you have your iPads, sorry. You have your phone, you have your AirPods, you have your iPads. All this you diversify so that one product will be driving. A low risk product is an AirPod, right? It drives. You have a lot of sales of the AirPod, and then you have a high risk iPhones, right? So that's how you maintain your portfolio of a company. The example, Apple's product diversification from computers to smartphones and wearables. This is a perfect example of product diversification. So that they build an ecosystem that if you buy an iPhone, you are more likely to buy an AirPod to help it, right? And then you buy an iMac, so that it's very closely related and you are more satisfied. You have the same ecosystem. One product will influence the customer to buy a similar product like a wearable from the same company. That's a perfect example of product diversification, right? Next is the sales. So for definition of sales is transactions where a product or service are exchanged for money. Very straightforward. So what are the sales channel? So under online, you have e-commerce platforms, company websites. Under retails, you have physical stores, pop-up shops, and you have your direct sales teams, door to door, B2B business. I don't think there is more of a door to door nowadays. It's more about e-commerce to door. right? And then B2B sales, business to business sales, that comes under direct sales. Then you have your wholesale, selling in bulk to retailers or other businesses. So these big box stores, like if you see Metro Cash and Carry or the D-Mart, they're called as a big box stores where they sell in bulk, offering more discounts to the customer. Those comes under wholesale. Next is the sales metrics. You have your revenue, total income from the sales, including the profit and the cost to cost. Next is the sales volume, the number of units sold, growth rate, percentage increase in sales over a period. Those are called as a growth rate. Next is the conversion rate, percentage of leads that converts to sales. Leads are nothing but you do a certain marketing, right? Maybe in Instagram you have Instagram, there are a lot of customers, right? Maybe there is 1 lakh followers on for particular company, and you will have ads. And how many of those ads? What's the percentage that leads to sales? That is known as a conversion rate. Yeah. So guys, if you're stuck here, just ask me. You can interrupt me anytime. Okay. What are the next is the sales strategies, upselling. These terms, please listen attentively. These are very important for any retail company. Upselling, encouraging customers to purchase a higher end product. That is known as a upselling. Cross-selling is suggesting similar products or complementary products, like a phone case to a phone or a charger to a phone. That those are known as cross-selling. Discounts and promotion. So it's a temporary price reduction to boost sales. So that is straightforward. Sales funneling. Stages from lead generation to closing the sale. That is known as a sales funnel. Okay, lead generation, as I told, ads. How many ads do you show to the customer? Out of that, how many customers will buy the product to close the sale, right? Those are tracked using the sales funnel. Example, Amazon's use of recommendation algorithms to increase cross-selling, right? This is pretty straightforward. Next is the orders. Orders are nothing but the request from the customer to purchase products or services. Mostly you will see in this e-commerce websites. So order processing steps. First is the receipt. Customer places an order via a chosen channel. Then you have a confirmation acknowledging the order and providing details to the supplier or the manufacturer. Confirmation, right? Next is the fulfillment. Fulfillment is how you pick the product from the manufacturer, how you pack it and shipping the order to delivery. That is fulfillment. Next is the delivery, ensuring the order reaches the customer. That comes under delivery. Post delivery support. How do you handle the returns? How do you handle the exchange or customer inquiries? Sorry. So those are known as a post delivery support, right? Let's see the different order management systems. Features, tracking the orders. You give the feature for the customer. You can track your orders. You have your inventory integration. If a product is not available, you can find a notify when it's available. Customer communication. It's again a feature, right? How do you communicate to the end customer? You have your phone, you have your email. All these are different communication channels. Next, you have the benefits, improved efficiency, reduced error, enhanced customer satisfaction. All this have to be there in the order management system. How do you improve the efficiency? How do you reduce the errors? How do you enhance the customer satisfaction? Next is the customer experience, timeliness. So everybody expects fast and reliable delivery, right? If they say that it will be delivered within a day, it has to be delivered within a day. That those are reliable deliveries. So timeliness is again a customer experience. Accuracy, are you giving the correct items and quantities? You don't receive a defective products or a different version of the product. That comes under accuracy. So communication, regular updates and transparent processes. So you need to know whether it's your order is confirmed and then where is the product, whether it's in shipping or whether it's still in the manufacturer site. So regular updates or it's out for delivery. All this communication you would have received if you have ordered a product. Right? Those are very important to keep it transparent to the customer. Example, how Zappos ensures high customer satisfaction to efficient order management. Again, a delivery company. Okay. Next is the inventory, the stock of goods available for sale. For every good, how much products is available. That is known as the inventory. So let's see the inventory management, stock levels. Maintaining optimal inventory to meet the demand without overstocking. That comes under stock levels, reorder points, determining when to reorder based on the usage rates and the lead times. Usage rates, right? Reorder points is like if there's a only a 20 or 25% of products left. So it's a point for reordering. So next is the safety stock, extra inventory to prevent stockouts during unexpected demand spikes. If it's on a sale prices, there is always a huge safety stock point that is available for sale during this festival or flash sales. So what are the different types of inventory? Raw materials. So basic materials used to produce the goods. Those are raw materials, also comes under the inventory. Next is the work in progress, partially finished goods, partially finished products. It's a status, right? Work in progress inventory. Finished goods, products ready for sale. So these are the three types of inventory. So yeah, next see maintenance, repair and operations, MRO. Supplies used in production but not part of the final product. Next is the inventory optimization. Different techniques. What is just-in-time technique? Then you have economic order quantity and ABC analysis. These are the different terminologies used. You don't need to put so much head into this. What are the benefits? Reducing holding cost, minimizing stock hours, improving cash flow. So that's how the benefits of doing inventory optimization. Okay. So how Toyota use just in time to minimize inventory cost and enhance efficiency. Let's go into the promotions. What are the promotions? It's called as marketing activities designed to boost sales and increase the brand awareness. So what are different types of promotions? Discounts, temporary price reductions. You have coupons offering price reductions. Then you have buy one get one offers. You would have heard of this. Customer gets an additional product free or at a discount. Seasonal sales, promotions in holidays. People have more time to visit the store, so that time there's more promotions. Maybe Diwali or Dasara, this kind of seasonal sales. Then you have flash sales, like limited time sales to create urgency. You have loyalty programs, rewarded for repeat customers. Then what are the different promotional channels? Online advertising, social media like Facebook, Instagram, all these social media platform, Google Ads. You might have seen when you search something, you have online advertising there. You search for a product and Google Ads suggest you those particular products having sales. Then you have email marketing. You'll receive mails that some products are at sale. This comes under online advertising, in-store promotions. For every product, you'll have boards, right? This is at a particular discounts. Display special offers at checkout. You have events launch events, webinars, trade shows. These are also promotions. Then you have influencer partnership. If social media influencers like Instagram, they have uh, maybe a 1 lakh followers, you will partner with the influencer, and the influencer will like promote that particular product, right? So and they're paid a certain amount so that it reaches to their influencer followers. Those are influencer partnership. So how do you measure effectiveness of a promotion? So there are three different things. What is the return on investment? So how much do you pay for the promotion and how much did it lead to extra sales? Those are measured using return on investment. So where were we? We are under conversion rates. The percentage of promotional viewers who make a purchase. Those are the conversion rate measured in percentage. Customer feedback. So that is also how you measure the effectiveness of a promotion. People are like happy. You do these surveys and reviews to assess the satisfaction. So that's how you measure the customer feedback. How Coca-Cola seasonal promotions drive sales and brand loyalty. So those are the promotions. You have your actor or influencer who promote Coca-Cola and how much it has increased the sales after that promotion. That is called as a measuring effectiveness of promotion. Moving to the next, let's move on to the different data architectures. So I'm preferring Azure. Similar services would be available across different cloud platforms. So in Azure, let's see what are the different services provided by the cloud to uh, for this kind of systems, especially in the retail domain. So when you say retail, on the left you have these different data sources. You have these different IoT devices. It could be in the different SKUs. There are different sensors that's measuring the inventory. So that data you will retrieve, and then you have unstructured data, right? I hope you can see this on the left. Streaming is the different data coming in maybe from inventory and then from omni-channel from maybe Amazon or Flipkart. All these will be sending streaming data on the orders. What are the unstructured data? Images, videos, audios, free text. You have this product images, assortment images. You have videos for tutorials, how to use a product. All this comes under unstructured data. And you have free text. Free text could be customer feedback where you don't analyze a lot. You have semi-structured data like CSVs, logs, JSON, and XML. These will be coming from the online systems like Amazon or Flipkart. All you will store all the logs and CSVs. You have relational databases where you have the customer information, customer ID, what kind of orders he has done, what are the demographics. All these come under relational databases. Then you have this Azure data services like Cosmos DB. It's a NoSQL database. You have Azure SQL. These are the other services available in Azure, right? So the first pillar that you see after the data sources is the ingest. What are the services available in Azure? You have this event hubs. Whenever you hear of this word, you need to correlate that it's a streaming data. Then you have your Azure IoT hubs, getting data from the IoT devices. And just below you have this data pipelines. They've indicated Azure Synapse Workspace where you can schedule or even trigger data ingestion, taking this kind of unstructured and structured data for overlap kind of scenarios. So where do you store it? You have Azure Data Lake Storage, which is the cheap data storage available in Azure. You have your cold path that you will use for history and trend analysis. And then you have a warm path on the top that is used for streaming. Next is on the right, you have your processing layer. So you process streaming data using your Azure Stream Analytics, and then you have your Synapse Spark pools or dedicated SQL pools where you will analyze your historical data for analytics or your data warehousing, right? You see that data will echoes workloads. So you analyze using Spark for big data analytics, and then you have your enrichment layer. You will use Azure Cognitive Services. You have different enrichment services here. Your image analysis or your key phrase extraction, right? From your data, you can get your key phrases for better analytics. You have your Azure machine learning used for predictive analytics or customer segmentation, all this kind of high-end data science or machine learning analytics. You can use machine learning. Then you have your serving layer or your reporting layer, right? So you will create reports using Power BI, or you will display it directly to your web application using Cosmos DB. You have your cognitive search, knowledge mining for your this is like a AI search. You can use it right now. You can see it using your LLM applications. You can create chatbots, and then you could provide Azure Cognitive Search as a source. Then you have your Azure Data Share, right? It's just nothing but a SQL where you will give SQL queries and get the data stored using the Azure SQL. Okay, this is the business user, how you can uh, serve your business users. On the bottom, sorry, you have your discover and govern using Azure Purview, it's a data cataloging. And in the Azure platform itself, you have Azure Directory to add or manage your users, cost management to see the cost for every service, Azure Keyword to store your sensitive information, you have your Azure Monitor to monitor logs, Defender for Cloud to have a firewall, and then you have DevOps and GitHub. DevOps is for your CI/CD, deploying your services to multiple environments like dev, QA, staging, and production. And then you have your Azure policies. Okay. According to different companies, you can have different Azure policies. Okay. So here you will have in under relational databases or any such storage layer, right? You will have different environments as I told you. One is the development environment where it will be mostly like when the developer is developing the website for your retail store, for example. The first POC will be done in the development environment, and then you have your staging. Then you have your QA where you will deploy to another environment for the testers to do regression testing or unit testing or integration testing. And then you have a staging environment, which is nothing but a pre-production. So as it will be like a production environment, but just to make sure everything works well in production, you have a pre-production or a staging, and then you have a production layer, which is the live, live, which is available for the users for consumption. So similarly, you have different environments for different services. Okay. Any question on this slide, guys? Feel free to ask anything. Please make use of this time. You will only work on this if you have a project, but this is the time where you will have to be curious and ask about these kind of services, right? Which will help you in these interviews or if you're working in a company. architecture. Yeah, much more simplified so that you will correlate now. On the left, you have your different data sources like your logs or unstructured data. Then you have your structured data coming in from business or customer apps. So three layers that you need to have in your mind always: ingest, store, and prep or train or process, right? So ingestion, you are using Azure Synapse Analytics, uh, or you could use your Azure Data Factory also. That is also an ingestion service, or your Azure Databricks. These are your different alternatives. Then you're storing with Azure Data Lake Storage, ADLS, and then you do your prep and train. That's where you process the big data. So here they're telling they're using Apache Spark. You could also do it with data flow, and then or your Jupyter notebooks as well. And then on top you have your model and serve layer. So you're choosing Polybase. Polybase is used for doing your data warehousing, connecting to different Hadoop or Hadoop layer, right? The Hadoop uses Polybase to extract data for data warehousing. So here you have your Azure Synapse SQL. Once the data warehouse is ready, then you will have Azure Analysis Service where you will create your tabular or multidimensional model. And using this multidimensional model, you will have your Power BI reports feeding off this multidimensional model. Okay. I think this is much simpler for you to understand. Next, moving on to a different kind of architecture. Here you have your event hubs for streaming data. Yeah. So you have again your three layers: ingestion, process, and serve. On the left for streaming, you have event hubs. For batch, you have your Azure Data Factory. So under processing layer, so you have your Azure Databricks, which uses a Spark engine for big data. And then you have ML Flow, again a framework for your data science or ML workloads. You have your SQL analytics using Databricks. That is the process layer. But under store, so this is a very, very important, guys. Pay attention to this. So using Azure Data Factory, you will ingest data into three layers, right? In your storage. So three layers. This particular box that I'm showing you right now is known as a lake house architecture. Please remember this word. Lake house architecture is nothing but you have three different layers of data, bronze. So here bronze means it's a raw data. Then you have silver data, which is a processed layer. And then gold is nothing but a abstracted data. Like what is required for the current use case, only that will be retained in the gold layer. This is created using the Azure Databricks. Okay, there is also a new format known as a Delta Lake, which is used in the lake house architecture. Why we need data lake? Why we need Delta Lake? Because it provides versioning and historical versions of the same data. Okay. So this is something that most companies are using in the recent times. So you'll need to be aware of what is Databricks, what is Lakehouse architecture, and the minute they ask about Lakehouse architecture, you need to say there is three layers: bronze, silver, and gold. Okay, those are stored in a Azure Data Lake. So next you have your reporting layer where you have Azure Machine Learning or Kubernetes, where you're running your application here. You have your reports in the Power BI, and bottom you can see the Azure Purview for data cataloging. You have your DevOps for CI/CD, Key Vault, Azure Data Active Directory for user management, Azure Monitor to check your application logs. Then you have your cost and billing. On the bottom, you have your streaming data. Event Hub is capturing the streaming data, putting it to Azure Synapse Analytics. On top, you have your batch data, Azure Synapse again, putting it to a data lake. Using Polybase, you will do your data warehousing in the Synapse. And then you have your tabular or multi-dimensional model in your analysis services. Then you have your Power BI. On the bottom, you have your Azure Cosmos DB feeding off the Synapse Analytics and putting it into a real-time application, which could be your web app. Right. So this architecture is mostly focused on the capability of Azure Data Factory. I hope you know that there are 90 plus connectors in Azure Data Factory. That's why it's a widely used lift and shift tool. So some of the data sources could be FTP, file system, MongoDB, NoSQL. You have your SaaS applications. You have integration to Salesforce, Amazon, SAP, HDFS, Big Data, Google Cloud Storage. You have your enterprise data warehouses like Oracle, Snowflake, Teradata. Then you have Azure Data Services also like Cosmos DB, Data Lake, and Synapse or SQL database. Multiple connectors with which you can ingest data. You put it into Azure Data Lake, the best data storage layer. Then you have your serverless SQL in the Azure Synapse Analytics. And you can also data coming in from transactional apps like NoSQL. You can ingest using Azure Cosmos DB. And then it is going to the reporting or analytics layer. Pretty straightforward. Okay. So a sample of a data modeling for retail domain. You have these kind of tables. Just pay attention to this. You have your customer table. It's a customer number, customer name, and different customer related data. Again, using customer number, it's a primary key. It's used as a surrogate key for the orders table. Then you have a payments table. See, again, you have your customer number as a surrogate key. Then you have your order details. The order number is joining key here. You have a products table, like all products related data here. In the customers, it's connected to employees. Employees again is having a multiple connection to offices. So it's a Snowflake schema. Go on to the next. For data sources coming from operational systems or flat files going to the staging area. And then this where you host the temporary data. Then you build the warehouse, right? These three tables that you see are called as data marts. And for each, you have again, these are like in data warehouse, there are multiple tables. And then you have individual data marts, right? For purchasing, for sales, and inventory. Specific for each use case. Data marts is like for a specific use case, okay? And then you have the user layer where you have the reporting or knowledge mining or the analytics. Yeah, for analytics, you have your sales and purchasing. And then for reporting, you only have for sales. Knowledge mining also is related to sales. And then only mining is done used for inventory, in the inventory table here. So now we learn about SCD, slowly changing dimensions. There are actually 6 types of SCDs, but not very, only few of them are used very common. First is the type 0, type 1, and type 2, and type 3. Okay. So these are the commonly used SCDs, right? This is a small example of SCD1. You can see that you have one table and you store the history, right? For SCD2, you see you add a new row. This is the existing record, and then you track the change using another row having a new start date and end date. That is the SED type 2. SED type 1 is overwriting the old value itself. For example, salary changes for this row called Aman. It is overwriting this existing record. Okay. So type 4 is using historical table. There will be a separate history table that is that will track the history. This is also there in the Azure Delta Lake, where it stores the history separately. And then type 6. It's not very common, but it's combination of 1, 2, and 3. So data transformation. I hope you have heard of the term called ETL. To extract data, transform, and load. For any data engineer, this is the core concept. So how will you schedule the job, right? Once you have developed your data factory pipeline, so under pipeline runs, or you can set different triggers for the pipeline. So you see here in the red, it's triggered by a 12-hour trigger. So every 12 hours, this pipeline is set to run. Or you have a date trigger every day once it is triggering. Or you have multiple other triggers like a tumbling or scheduling a sliding window where you can set the pipeline to run for every few minutes or few seconds. So this you will find in the Azure Data Factory monitor under pipeline runs. Okay. Yep, that's all we had to cover for today. I hope you learned some important terms in the retail domain